Are you feeling lost? What does Jonah Hill's therapist have to say about that? I'm Camille Scott with Xeno Enthusiast, and recently on Netflix I saw the documentary Stutz, which is Jonah Hill's newest documentary, and it's about his therapist Phil Stutz. And the thing that really appealed to me about it was the humanity of this whole project. It was really touching and really fantastic. And you get to see a side of Jonah Hill that is like completely out of what you would normally think of him being typecast as. But before I get into it, I just wanted to remind you to like and to subscribe, because of course that helps the algorithm. Phil Stutz has got a really different approach to therapy, and he has all these little tools that he would write on note cards. And so Jonah Hill wanted to document all these little tools that his therapist has given him that have been so useful. And what he says is that, you know, you always talk to your friends about your problems and you just want them to listen, and all they do is give you all this unsolicited advice. And then you go to your therapist, he just listens to you and doesn't give you any advice, but you really want him to give you advice. But Phil Stutz is different. He says that no, that's bullshit. He always wants to give his clients some kind of a tool that they can use. And he draws these little stick figure drawings on note cards to illustrate these tools. And it's actually really charming because Stutz has Parkinson's, and so the drawings come out real shaky. They're these little stick figure drawings that illustrate points, but that was something that I found so endearing about this film. So I don't want to give away too many spoilers, but I do want to give you a couple of the key takeaways that I got from watching this. It was so touching, especially at the point that I am in my life where I'm really doing a deep dive on self-improvement and creating my own business and changing my mindset from being an employee to an entrepreneur. And so this requires like a complete mind shift change. So he talks about how people come to him with all kinds of problems. You know, they've got relationship problems and they've got self-esteem problems. They might have depression or anxiety. And all those problems, he says, he's not really going to be able to solve those problems, or you're not going to be able to solve those problems immediately. But if there is one thing that you can do, it would be to work on your life force. I'm in a program at Entre Institute to learn affiliate marketing. So much of what my mentor, Jeff Lerner, talks about is getting your physique, your physical, not just your physique, but your mental and your physical life in order before you try to launch a business. Because becoming an entrepreneur is so different than being an employee where you just clock in and clock out. It's kind of mindless. You go in, you're told what to do, you complete your hours, you do your job, and you go home. But being an entrepreneur, you're the one that's coming up with all of that. And so you're going to need the life force that it takes in order to launch a business. But in Stutz's case, or in Jonah Hill's case, Stutz talks about how the one thing that you can control in your life is the amount of life force. So he says to start there. And I just love that parallel between Phil Stutz and Jeff Lerner. The other little pearl of wisdom that I got was actually called the string of pearls. And he talks about true confidence is really living in uncertainty and continuing to move forward. And so he talks about how when you're trying to reach a goal or you're trying to improve your life, it's like stranding one pearl at a time on a string. So the only focus that you should have is stranding the next pearl on that string. And over time, you see that it becomes like a necklace. It becomes a chain of all these little events, of all these little, could be habit stacking, or all these little mini accomplishments adds up to something. So each pearl represents like one action or one habit. So then he takes the little drawing of his string of pearls and he puts a little black dot inside each one of the pearls. You know, and people, you know, ask him, what do you do that for? Why are you putting little black dots in the pearls? And he says that each one of those little black dots represents a turd. So in other words, you keep stringing the pearls even though they're not perfect, even though each one of them is going to have a little imperfection in it. You just keep moving forward and you keep stringing those pearls. And that really is true confidence, is you just keep moving forward in uncertainty. Even though you're uncertain about it, you just keep stringing pearls. Let me know in the comment section below what you've been watching lately. And of course, if you want to learn more about entrepreneurial education, follow the link in the description box to Jeff Lerner's free ebook, and you'll come across the best entrepreneurial education on the market. I'm Camille Scott with Xeno Enthusiast.